A warm welcome to you anywhere around the world. This is Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. We are live in Abuja. We'll begin from the State House, where the newly appointed Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, has been sworn in. The new IGP took oath of office before the commencement of the Federal Executive Council FEC meeting this Wednesday. President Bola Tinubu appointed Olatunji Disu, the 23rd IGP, after the resignation of his predecessor, Kayode Egbetokun, last week. The 59-year-old IGP from Lagos State is popular for leading the first Nigeria police contingent. President Tinubu had at the decoration expressed confidence in the ability of the new police chief to lead a rejuvenated force in contributing to peace and stability in the country. The new IGP says he is ready to deliver on his new mandate by motivating his personnel for the cause of securing the nation.
I'm bringing law and order to the table. Like I mentioned earlier, I've made up my mind to ensure that my officers get to know that we are working for the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the citizens of the country are our bosses. The committee was set up early this morning to look into the issue of state police from the angle of the Nigerian police. We don't want it to seem as if others are taking decisions, and we, the most important people concerned, did not do anything. We want to ensure that the best thing is done. State police has come to stay, and the police should be able to contribute their own part in making it succeed. The police are not afraid. Our jobs are not being taken. It's just an issue of partnership.
The president also inaugurated 6 commissioners of Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission and 2 Federal Civil Service Commissioners. In the meantime, the Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, has declared the dawn of a new era in policing as he convened his maiden strategic conference with commissioners of police and above. Addressing the top-ranking officers at the force headquarters in Abuja, the Inspector General said his administration will be anchored on professionalism, accountability, transparency, and strict respect for human rights.
The message must be clear. No officer is above the law. Citizens must feel safe and encouraged to report wrongdoings, while officers must understand that loyalty to the force does not extend to shielding misconduct or tolerating indiscipline. Under this leadership, there will be no sacred cows. Rank, seniority, or position will offer no protection. Officers found culpable will face swift and appropriate disciplinary actions, including dismissal, prosecution where applicable. I am actually aware that no police force can perform optimally if its officers are burdened by neglect. Our welfare will therefore be a central focus of my administration.
Security correspondent Francis Form reports that in a major highlight of the conference, IGP Disu formally inaugurated a 7-member steering committee on the implementation of state police, describing the task as both significant and timely. He said the committee's work would shape a framework for state policing that strengthens rather than fragmenting Nigeria's security architecture. IGP Disu assured officers that the introduction of state police would not diminish the constitutional role of the Nigeria Police Force as the primary national law enforcement institution. Let's also tell you that the Nigeria Police Force is advancing training of its officers and men on explosive ordnance disposal (EOD) as part of strategic move to contain insecurity and support ongoing counterinsurgency operations in the country. Balkisu Umar Guruku reports that 100 officers have completed the training and are ready for deployment nationwide.
2 weeks of rigorous training at the Police Mobile Force Training School NTA Hills in Nasarawa State, and the 100 police officers are battle ready. They were exposed to training on explosive and improvised explosive devices, threat management, chemical, biological and radiological emergency response, risk assessment, among others. The officers were drawn from the EOD formation across the country, and they are expected to add value to the ongoing counterinsurgency operations.
The Inspector General of Police remains committed to building a modern, professional, community-driven and people-oriented Nigerian police force capable of guaranteeing security and safety across the Federation.
Your commitment and professionalism matters a lot. So I urge all of you to be consistent in what you have been taught, and I hope the knowledge you acquire will be beneficial to humanity.
The training was organized in collaboration with the Nigerian Police Trust Fund. In Lafia, Bilkisu Umar Guruku, NTA News.
The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, who is a senior advocate of Nigeria, has formally taken over the prosecution of his predecessor, Abubakar Malami, in the alleged terrorism and illegal firearms possession brought against him by the Department of State Service. During proceedings, Fagbemi, through the Director of Public Prosecution of the Federation, Rotimi Oyedepo, who is also a senior advocate of Nigeria, announced appearance in the matter. He told Justice Joyce Abdul-Malik that the trial cannot proceed because Fagbemi has just taken over the prosecution and he needed time to study it to be able to take a well-informed decision. Malami, represented by Adedayo Adedeji, who is also a senior advocate of Nigeria, expressed disgust over the delay in opening up the trial and asked the court to strike out the charge at the next adjourned date should the federal government come up with any excuse. Responding, Rotimi Oyedepo said that the request for striking out of the charge was premature and urged the court to ignore it. After taking arguments, Justice Joyce Abdul-Malik fixed March 10, 2026 for commencement of trial. Malami and his son Abdul Aziz are facing trial on a 5-count charge bordering on alleged terrorism and illegal firearms possession. Now, imagine if the Africa Continental Free Trade Area fully takes off, providing a corridor to the economic development of Africa, creating a single market among 54 countries of 1.3 billion population. What would you expect? This formed part of discussions at the opening of a 3-day capacity building for lawmakers and legislative support staff on national implementation of the agreement organized by NILDS in collaboration with the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa. Muhammad Rabiu Ali tells us more.
The Africa Continental Free Trade Area represents one of the most coordinated and transformative economic initiatives in Africa's modern history, creating a single continental market of free movement for goods and services. However, this opportunity, experts say, can only be realized through deliberate, coherent, and sustained national implementation measure.
Legislatures are central to domestication of international agreements, the enactment and amendment of enabling laws, effective oversight of executive implementation, budgetary appropriations, and the protections of national interests within the AFTA framework.
AFCFTA implementation is unthinkable without your active leadership, legislative action, and constant oversight.
Stakeholders believe that the success of AFTA implementation in Nigeria depends largely on informed legislative actions, institutional coordination, and political will.
The 10th National Assembly stand resolute. We shall support reform that enhance Nigeria's strength within the AFCFTA framework. We shall promote industrial growth. We shall defend our sovereignty. We shall advance social inclusion, and we shall do so not timidly, but with conviction.
As a continent, we have so much potential. We are just not imagining it and harnessing it. But when all this is done, 90% of intra-African custom duties would have been removed.
At the end of engagement, profile recommendations will be brought forward in line with the AFTA agreement and its 8 associated protocols. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
First stop on Nationwide is our Lagos Network Center, and Ese will take it up from here.
Thank you for joining us in Lagos. The Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAN, is appealing to all road users to remain calm as measures are being put in place to abate the traffic situation of the airport corridors. In a few days, motorists and passengers on their path are waiting patiently to have easy access in and out of Murtala Mohammed Airport toll gates, Ikeja. Diana Ajale, who visited MMA Ikeja, has a situation report on this.
What we are seeing at the Lagos Airport toll gates isn't the usual rush hour traffic. The traffic is all due to the full rollout of FAN's cashless payment system intended to modernize operations. The enforcement has left many travelers stranded and scrambling to reach their terminals. After several years of physical cash payment system, these motorists are yet to align with the changing federal government's policy as they speak on the significant disruptions since its implementation the 1st of March 2026.
I've been on this traffic for good 2 hours. My sister now, she's going to airport. If that her flight is, let me say, 1 o'clock, she has missed her flight. And we are paying 500 naira. If you know, they said it's 1,000 naira. They're supposed to put a machine there that at least they have known the number of the vehicle and even the jeep, the cars, and other buses.
We are trying to mitigate the issue. How are we doing this? One, we have good enough number of people on ground helping to register people to use the cards. Then we have our different centers run at different toll gates where people can register and use the cards as well. You can also use your debit card. We have 4 different methods of payment. The most popular is the Go Cashless card, which we introduced sometimes in October last year. So in the last 5 months, we're able to onboard about 30,000 cards, okay? And interestingly, in just 6 months now, in 6 days now, we have onboarded 40,000. That's about 70,000.
Motorists can register and fund their cards online via www.gocashless.fan.gov.ng to ease congestion. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
The Nigerian Television Authority will always support initiatives aimed at encouraging religious tolerance and promoting the societal well-being through its credible platform to educate the public. Zonal Director, NTA 2 Lagos Network Center, Dr. Evelyn Wosu, stated this at the 13th Annual Yusuf Jibo Ramadan Lecture in Lagos. Lynn Lineker reports that the event featured 2 Islamic scholars who admonished the faithful on security consciousness and prohibition on consumption of interest in Islam.
Islam, everyone's individually responsible for what we do.
The 13th Annual Yusuf Jibo Ramadan Lecture has become an avenue for moral reflection. This year, it focuses on the urgent need for ethical rebirth in Nigeria. Representing the Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, Saliu Abdulhamid Dembles, the Zonal Director of NTA 2 Lagos Network Center, Dr. Evelyn Wosu, paid glowing tribute to the late Malam Yusuf Jibo.
I was not privileged to have met him, but everything I've heard about him speaks to somebody who knows what to do and somebody who lived for unity. Now, if that is what he lived for, and everybody understood that this is what he lived for, this only means that what this has done in so many years, he has started in impacting the unity in NTA community.
This year's lecture addressed two critical pillars: rebuilding broken walls, hope for Nigeria's insecurity, and understanding the core principles of riba in business dealings.
Let us go back to our honor, take our amana, our trust. When we take it, inshallah, there will be peace and harmony.
Islam as a religion forbids charging any increase when you are lending money to another person.
For the organizers, the lecture is more than just a memorial. It is a tool for national development.
It is the goodness of Yusuf Jibo that is manifesting today. If you are good anywhere you are, to your neighbor, in your office, your community, your family, the goodness will continue to follow you.
Family of the late Malam Yusuf Jibo expressed joy that their father's life and times are still appreciated.
Even after so many years, our father is still, his memory is still being revived, it's still being remembered, his good works, everything.
The lecture serves as a reminder of the vital role religious teachings play in shaping personal conduct and national stability. In Lagos, Lane Lenake, NTA News.
That is it from Lagos. Nationwide continues in Abuja with Ayodiji after the break.
You're welcome back. To build a future where human papillomavirus-related cancers are eliminated and prevention is accessible to all, medical experts insist there is need to build trust in health system and erase myths around diseases, especially cancer, and rely on clinical facts. Elizabeth Omorui reports that these formed recommendations at a forum on preventing HPV infections among men and women as the world marks the 2026 World HPV Day.
Human papillomavirus, a common sexually transmitted infection. Medical experts say HPV causes genital warts and abnormal cells to metamorphose to cancer. This forum is therefore organized to amplify voices with a view to saving more lives through sensitization and disciplinary approaches.
Diagnostics are still weak and largely opportunistic, while the treatments and palliative support still need to be improved.
By continuing to mobilize funding, resource, by continuing to train our healthcare professionals.
In 2019, World Health Organization revealed that HPV caused an estimated 620,000 cancer cases in women and 70,000 cancer cases in men.
I can bleed for some time, a month or a week. So it continues. I have to go to the hospital.
It could cause cancers of the anus, it could cause penile cancer. In fact, recent evidence shows that it could be associated with heart disease.
It's high time that we make it free for every hospital to screen any woman. As you screening to the woman, screen her free.
Since 2013, Nigeria has vaccinated over 60 million girls. Experts recommend maintaining safe sexual practices and culturally inclined education. Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Address the physical needs and mental health of internally displaced youth from 3 local government areas of Plateau State. Wife of the state's governor, Helen Mutwan, in collaboration with the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, organized the second phase of trauma healing workshop in Jos. India and the Abuja reports that the IDPs were drawn from Mangu, Jos South and Barkinladi local government areas of the state.
The workshop, themed Rebuilding from Within, encompasses healing conversations, building inner strength, and developing skills for the future in these youths who have faced different levels of trauma and in turn will be exposed to practical trainings in climate-smart farming and agribusiness.
Regardless of our ethnic groups, regardless of our religion, we're together and we're one.
One thing I will take home is that we need one another to move forward.
Wife of the Plateau State Governor and initiator of the project says the training is part of a broader vision tagged Healing to Earning towards providing the requisite skills and startups that will make them productive and self-reliant.
This workshop is to provide a platform where they can receive teaching, provision that will help them to get over the trauma they've been through.
We look forward to complement with these type of projects as Her Excellency is leading. We want to give them awareness and enable them to be the agents of change in their communities.
So far, 500 youths have benefited in the phase 1 and 2 of the program in Jos. Indenyan and Abuja, NTA News.
All right, let's have more insights on this particular report. We have Bilkisu in Jos to give insights into the trauma healing training. Now, how is this impacting the lives of the communities involved?
Good afternoon and welcome to Jos. The workshop organized by the wife of the Plateau State Governor in collaboration with UNICEF is on trauma healing for internally displaced youths. It also seeks to facilitate fast healing from the trauma the participants have gone through, to put the past behind them, forgive and forge ahead for greater productivity. The workshop was tagged Rebuilding from Within, as the participants were exposed to healing conversations, building inner strength and developing skills, practical training on climate-smart farming and agro-business. The wife of the governor and the chief of field office of UNICEF are optimistic that the workshop will translate to a broader vision, transform them into productive and self-reliant youth, as well as change ambassadors in their various communities. 500 beneficiaries drawn from 6 local government areas of Plateau State are internally displaced persons affected by crisis who have received various trainings in phase 1 and 2 on economic empowerment, with startup kits to enable them integrate into communities and start all over with positive mindsets.
So thank you for your contribution. Since we are optimistic that the healing will be permanent as they return to their normal lifestyle. Thank you once again, Bilkisu in Jos. Now from Jos, let's cross over now to the seat of Caliphate, and Asmau is in Sokoto. Good evening, Asmau.
And welcome to Sokoto on Nationwide. The All Progressives Congress APC in Sokoto State has elected Haruna Sarkingobir Adia as the new state chairman of the party. Chairman of the Sokoto State APC Congress Committee, Professor Mampa Aliyu Musa, announced the outcome at the party's secretariat. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa completes the report.
The All Progressives Congress APC in Sokoto State has joined other states of the Federation in conducting its state's congress to elect new party executives ahead of the party's national convention. Announcing the outcome, Chairman of the State Congress Committee from the national headquarters of the party, Professor Mampa Aliyu Musa, disclosed that the Congress adopted the consensus option in electing the new leadership of the party in Sokoto State. The exercise was conducted in accordance with relevant provisions of the Electoral Act and the party's constitution. Other officials elected are Yahya Buhari, Vice Chairman, while Bella Abdullahi secured the position of the State Secretary. In his acceptance speech, the newly elected chairman pledged to work assiduously to strengthen unity, foster internal cohesion, and ensure overall growth and success of the party.
We acknowledge the trust reposed on us, and by the special grace of Almighty Allah, we pledge to work tirelessly, retain our mandate, deliver on our promises, and not let you down.
In his remarks, the outgoing state chairman of the party, Isa Sadiq Achida, expressed appreciation to members of the party for the opportunity to serve and urged them to extend maximum support and cooperation to the new leadership in order to move the party forward. From Sokoto, Bashir Ibrahim Nawaba, NTA News.
The Co-Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Sheikh Muhammad, has issued a strong warning to personnel nationwide against acts of indiscipline, corruption, and extortion within the Corps. He gave the warning in a message to a sensitization program organized to strengthen leadership accountability and restore an effective command structure that guarantees professionalism across commands in Nigeria. Dalhat Abdullahi reports.
The engagement follows disturbing operational reports of declining discipline and professionalism in some commands. Addressing personnel, the FRSC Co-Marshal Sheikh Muhammad represented noted that misconduct, unethical practices, and reckless enforcement undermine the core values of the Corps and erode public trust. The exercise is not intended to witch hunt, but to remind staff that the FRSC exists not only to enforce traffic laws, but to save lives and serve with integrity. Discipline, he stressed, safeguards careers and the institution's credibility, describing extortion, harassment, and abuse of authority as illegal and a betrayal of the oath of office.
This gathering is neither ceremonial nor routine. It is a deliberate moment for reflection, correction, and rededication to our duty and to the Nigerian people we serve.
While on their part, commanding officers are expected to lead by example and enforce ethical standards, the younger personnel were reminded to wear the uniform with honor and responsibility.
Some of the things we are seeing through social media and through other places are very worrisome. And it should be worrisome to all of us. Unless all hands are on deck for us to go back to the drawing board and do what we are known for, what we are suited for.
We are going to intensify this program, which is mandatory for all our staff of various schools to queue into programs of the co-marshals.
This reform is a turning point in repositioning the Corps and restore public confidence in its mandate of safeguarding lives and property on Nigerian roads. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
And that is our package from here. We will take a short break, and when we return, Nationwide will continue in Enugu.
Thanks for being there on Nationwide. Moving on now from Enugu Network Center. The All Progressives Congress APC Enugu State has successfully conducted its state congress with the election and inauguration of a new executive committee to pilot the affairs of the party for the next 4 years. Dr. Martins Chukwuwike emerged the state chairman, and Chika Ugu reports that the governor, Dr. Peter Mba, charged the executives to prioritize the party and state interests against personal interests.
The APC Enugu State Congress brought together party faithful from across the state and beyond. The State Congress witnessed a peaceful election where the people unanimously endorsed the new executives. Governor Peter Mba noted that the approval to connect the Eastern Rail Line to the state, the concession of the state airline, approval of Southeast Development Committee, which is working on connecting gas pipeline running through the state, are some of the few benefits of his government's deliberate decision to connect to the center. He said the bold reforms of President Bola Tinubu are yielding positive impact in the country.
We told you that we're going to grow this economy to 30 billion if you gave us your mandate. What I'm here to tell you today is that we are on course to superseding that projection.
For the caretaker committee chairman, a journey which began with chaos and uncertainty has finally ended in unity. The new state chairman promised their unalloyed loyalty and support to ensure the party emerges victorious in the forthcoming elections in 2027.
We will use anything in our being to make sure that your programs are taken to the people, that our party structure is strengthened.
Top party faithful, both from the federal and local levels, commended the peace, transparent and fair nature of the exercise. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
Similarly, a grassroots interest group, New Direction for Nigeria movement, is mobilizing millions of Nigerians through consistent advocacy and direct contact to take a new direction from the trajectory of Nigeria's leadership. Chimaroke Ugu was at the group's Southeast Zonal Congress held in Enugu and now reports.
The New Direction for Nigerian movement, NEDMO, is in the forefront of the research for a direction which prioritizes the welfare and aspirations of citizens in Nigeria. At the Southeast Congress held in Enugu, the grassroots interest group emphasized that democracy requires strong institutions, protected rights, and leaders accountable to the people.
We are promoting good governance, peaceful coexistence, security, and development in the country.
Inside this NEDMO, we have so much capacity that can decide in every locality, every local government, every state, no matter the constituency you are coming from.
It's a civil society organization that has come to encourage the youth, to encourage the women, to encourage the citizens to be proactive in terms of decision making.
Speakers at the Congress with the theme Reclaiming Nigeria's Youth Future for Good Governance and Accountability re-echoed that the youth hold the key to the country's future and requires a multifaceted approach encompassing empowerment through education and economic opportunities, civil engagement, institutional strengthening, and leadership accountability.
We also want to awaken the youth, draw their consciousness to their involvement in governance, not just politically.
Our women, they are ready to deliver, they are ready to do the work. We need a change in this governance.
As the New Direction for Nigeria movement continues to gain momentum, it is expected that their efforts will contribute meaningfully to the country's development. In Enugu, Chimaroke Ugu, NTA News.
Those are the stories from Enugu Network Center. Ayodeji, it's back to you.
Thanks so much. Comfort in our Enugu Network Center. In the spirit of the holy month, hundreds of Muslims and non-Muslims in the Federal Capital Territory and environs have expressed gratitude to President Tinubu and the First Lady Oluremi Tinubu after receiving a Ramadan pack donated by the First family. Abdullahi Ajia reports on the distribution of the items at the Abuja National Mosque.
It was all smiles and happy moments for beneficiaries in Abuja and environs at the Abuja National Mosque who have come to benefit again from the donations made by the First family coming from the President through the office of the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu. In their hundreds, they lined up to receive what was due for them through the Abuja National Mosque Distribution Committee, coordinated and supervised by the chairman, Ustaz Abubakar Sadiq. This time, the package was a pack of Ramadan varieties.
Collecting the Renewed Hope package, and everybody is happy. We have a lot of items to distribute. This is just the introduction. We have 50 kg rice, 1,000 as well. This Renewed Hope package is 1,000. We have milk, we have sugar, we have powdered milk. We have a lot of items coming from a number of people. The First Lady being the top on the list, and some other people have contributed. Seeing the way the distribution is going on, people are encouraged to bring more to the poor, as whatever is here would go to the desired recipients.
Recipients showered praises and praise to the donors.
I'm very happy about it, especially the month of Ramadan.
I feel excited.
With hope renewed, At a time like this, the managers of the distribution reassured of the First Lady's commitment to always assist the less privileged and needy in society through acts of kindness such as these. In Abuja, Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
The federal government, through the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, and the State Universal Basic Education Boards, has been actively working to transform Sangaya, otherwise known as traditional Quranic schools in Nigeria, into integrated Quranic and Sangaya education centers. It is to blend Islamic studies with formal Western education in order to reduce the number of out-of-school children in northern parts of the country. To achieve this, various Arabic and Islamic studies centers were selected across the northern states of the country for total rehabilitation, with Kwara State as one of the beneficiaries. Aisha Abubakar Yahya reports.
The UBEC superb initiative of transforming the Arabic and Islamic studies schools is designed to blend Islamic studies with formal Western education, with the aim of reducing the number of out-of-school children, particularly in northern Nigeria, while equipping them with modern literacy, numeracy, and vocational skills.
This type of grant is given directly to the proprietors of this Quranic school. They have to submit action plan to SUBEB on how they want to utilize the money.
Kwara State is located in Nigeria's north central zone. Is also benefiting from this intervention program, as 50 Islamic schools are currently receiving support under this laudable initiative.
What the government is trying to do is that gradually we will introduce foundational literacy and numeracy in those schools.
At the Okanla Center for Arabic and Islamic Studies, Baboko, and the Darul Ulum Islamic Center in Sokoto in Ilorin, old, overcrowded classrooms have given way to renovated learning spaces.
It can attract more people to enroll their children here.
I want to thank the government that the good that they do to us, we are very grateful.
By integrating faith with formal learning, the program is opening new paths for thousands of children and moving them away from the streets towards the classrooms. Aisha Abubakar Yahya, NTA News.
Now, Aisha is at one of the benefiting Islamic centers to tell us more about the laudable intervention ongoing in Kwara State. Your own, Aisha. Now, Aisha, if you can hear me, you're on. Let's have the ongoing transformation concerning the level of education with this introduction in Kwara State. Seem to be having some challenge establishing contact with Aisha in Kwara State. If time permits, surely we'll reconnect with her in the course of the bulletin. Back here, let's tell you that the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, is partner in the Yakubu Gowon University, Abuja, to produce a new drama series that will promote rule of law in the society. Executive Director Programs of the NTA, Tari Taylor, says it will be a movement where young minds are equipped with knowledge to become agents of positive change. Tessie Omeri reports.
The Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, has over the years been the leading broadcast station driving societal change and uniting the people through various programs. Now, NTA is deepening its partnership to sustain its leading role of entertaining and educating the public, and the Theatre Arts Department of the Yakubu Gowon University, formerly known as the University of Abuja, came in handy to enable NTA drive its mandate. The partnership will birth a new drama series that will focus on promoting the rule of law amongst the youths.
So we have decided to address that by creating a program, a new NTA original drama series, which is a legal courtroom-based drama. That is the central location. That is the central location. In fact, we are building the set, the custom-built set at NTA headquarters right now as we speak. It's going to be one of a kind. It's going to set a new standard in entertainment within this Nigerian media space.
Grammar produces results, but with drama, you achieve better results. And so that's why I'm here. I know the impact and the effect of just stage drama, not talk about television that can even repeat and you see and you know, constantly, regularly, on a daily basis. This will do well. I think the impact will be felt.
The target is to build a society where rule of law is adhered to and a generation of responsible youths. The drama series will be a blend of both the old and the young generations. In Abuja, Tessie Omeri, NTA News.
Yes, we can now reconnect with Aisha in Ilorin, where she's located at one of the benefiting schools when it comes to the introduction of educational intervention in Kwara State. Now, Aisha, you're on. Tell us more on this impact.
Hello, thank you. Good afternoon. I am at one of the integrated centers right now, and all I can say is that Arabic and Islamic studies are definitely taking a new dimension with this laudable initiative by the Universal Basic Education Commission and the federal government. This also clearly shows that the idea of transforming Tangaya, which is traditional Quranic schools in Nigeria, into integrated Quranic and Tangaya education centers will no doubt blend Islamic studies with formal Western education. And as such, it will definitely reduce out of school children in northern Nigeria to the barest minimum. The classrooms are also well furnished and conducive for learning as well, unlike in the past when children sit on bare floors. The renovated classrooms with improved furniture and learning materials are now making education more comfortable and effective. This will no doubt improve the lives of these younger ones, and surely they will be useful eventually in the society. This will also definitely assist the federal government in tackling some of the challenges affecting the development of the country, especially in the area of youth involvement in criminal activities.
Well, thanks so much for your contribution, Aisha, in Ilorin, Kwara State there on this level of intervention. Surely we expect brighter days and, of course, to get more pupils of the streets and, of course, get them well educated. Thank you again for your contribution.
Yes.
All right, let's move on and tell you that a support group on the platform of the governing All Progressives Congress, APC, named Global Alliance for Tinubu, says the renewed hope agenda has exceeded all expectations in correcting all the previous wrongs and putting Nigeria in the right trajectory for growth and development. This was during its inaugural media briefing, where removal of fuel subsidy, floating of the naira, energy, security, infrastructure development across geopolitical spread, clean bill on education, health and social reforms were justified and applauded to and appealed to Nigerians to re-elect President Bola Tinubu for continuity and progress.
Bold and courageous reforms in all sectors must be given adequate time to gain traction, succeed and nurture to fruition. We cannot afford to truncate the policy direction and abort the gain already recorded. President Tinubu is currently navigating Nigeria out of the storm, and his administration deserves the support from all of us.
The group, which has its vast influence within and outside the country, assures the president of mobilizing more than 5 million people for the president in view of improvement in national security and promising a bright economic future for the country's prosperity. Relevant bodies in the labor sector are calling on governments to partner with entrepreneurs to create jobs for the teeming Nigerian youth. The leadership of RATTAWU made this call during a courtesy visit to influential Nigerians to seek partnerships for the union's upcoming activities. Correspondent Tessie Omeri reports.
The role of entrepreneurs and private organizations in supporting government efforts to curb unemployment has never gone unnoticed. Hence, the collaboration between RATTAWU leadership and Kubwa Central Market CEO Vincent Udobi. The meeting provided an opportunity for the exchange of ideas on how to bridge the gap of unemployment in the country.
Media is very strong, and as far as I'm concerned, partnering with them is going to be a plus.
We want to identify with those who believe that they can create wealth, those who are human capital developers. That way, we'll be able to assist our members.
We have to give kudos to the CEO of Central Market for having the lion heart in order to set up such a big establishment that has empowered over 2,000 people.
The president of RATTAWU used the meeting to announce the upcoming Central Working Committee meeting in preparation for the Uni Africa Global Conference scheduled to hold in the country this year. In Abuja, Tessie Omeri, NTA News.
And for the latest in the world of sports, let's join Austin Edemodu.
We begin with athletics as the first AFN 2026 Golden League ended on Tuesday in Benin City, Edo State, where national champion Chidera Ezako and Chinonso Odinaka dominated proceedings. Chidera Ezako clinched gold in men's 200 meters with a personal best of 20.83 seconds on the final day after winning the 100 meters on day one. In the women's 200 meters event, Chinonso Odinaka secured gold in the final after clocking 24.13 seconds. The next leg of the series is scheduled for Lagos from March 18 to 19, 2026. Elsewhere, the board of the Nigerian Basketball Federation has placed full support for the Nigerian women's basketball team, the D Tigers, ahead of the FIBA World Cup qualifiers in France from March 11 to 17, 2026. The federation affirmed its commitment towards ensuring the participation of the team at the qualifiers with logistics and welfare given top priority. The president of the federation, Amadou Musakida, emphasized the importance of the team to keep maintaining dominance in Africa and also expanding to the global stage.
8-9 years, they have not lost one game to an African team on African soil. It's not an easy feat.
Let's now turn attention to the English Premier League, where Liverpool's bid for top 4 finish suffered a setback after a 2-1 defeat to Wolves at Moneylus. Meanwhile, actions resumed on Wednesday night with battle for league title and European football intensify. Table toppers Arsenal will travel to American Express Stadium to face Brighton in a tricky encounter as Aston Villa hosts Chelsea at Villa Park. Manchester City will hope to close the gap as they tackle Nottingham Forest at Etihad. With Sports Update, I'm Austin Edemodu, NTA News.
And with sports, we conclude nationwide. I'd like to thank you for watching. I'm Ayodeji Makinde on behalf of the entire production crew. This is the Nigerian Television Authority. Good evening.